Hello, my name's Ian Stewart. I'm the Chief Economist at Deloitte, and I want to take you through the findings of our latest survey of UK Chief Financial Officers, which took place in the fourth quarter of 2015. Now, there are two really key findings from this survey. One is that the margin of support amongst the CFOs we surveyed for staying in the European Union has narrowed. The second is that CFOs have become more cautious about the economic outlook and the outlook for their own businesses. Now, in terms of sentiment, we asked a question on how CFOs feel about prospects for their own business. And actually, on that measure, sentiment is at the lowest level in 3 years, actually at the lowest level since the euro area was in recession in mid-2012. So quite a marked fall in business sentiment. And that's then fed through to a decline in corporate risk appetite. Very important indicator because it really determines the willingness of corporates to expand. And now only 37% of CFOs say they want to take risk onto their balance sheet. That's almost half the levels prevailing in mid-2014 at the peak. Now, the interesting question is, why has this shift occurred? And I think there's a clue in the survey findings in that CFOs are really pretty downbeat about prospects for emerging markets and the euro area in 2016. And I think those kind of uncertainties, that kind of gloom, is weighing on sentiment. I should say, however, that there's really quite high levels of optimism about prospects for the US and to a lesser extent the UK economy. So there is this confidence about America and the UK, but it seems to be being offset by uncertainties overseas. Now, the second key finding out of the survey was around the European Union. 2016 may well be the year where we have a referendum on EU membership. And what we've seen in the latest survey is that the margin of support for staying in has narrowed. Back in June, 74% of CFOs said unconditionally that the UK should stay in the European Union. That's fallen to 62%, still a sizable majority. What's really changed, though, is not so much a rise in those who want to leave the European Union, but a rise in those who are uncertain. So actually almost a third of CFOs now say that their decision on whether to stay or to leave will depend on the results of the Prime Minister's renegotiation of the UK's membership of the European Union. So clearly those negotiations could have quite an effect on business attitudes to membership. So that's it really, a cautious start to 2016 for CFOs with confidence down to levels last prevailing three years ago, decline in risk appetite, and also a narrowing of the margin of support for the European Union amongst chief financial officers.